Hi, it's Eno, and today we've got Mr. Addison. Mr. Addison is known as the Property Hunter Ghana. Mr. Addison, we are privileged to have you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Addison is going to answer our frequently asked questions we get at Eno Bricks: how to acquire a land. Mr. Addison, thank you.
Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mr. Addison, my first question to you: what are the steps or the approach to owning a litigation-free land in Ghana?
Litigation-free land is
Yes.
what everyone wants to know.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to buy land, you should know the type of property or the type of land you're buying. If you're buying the land from the chiefs, okay, let's start with if you are buying a registered land. If the land has a land title, is registered, it's quite a straightforward process. What you want to do is to get in touch with the owner of the property using the help of an estate agent. You always, if you haven't bought a land before, probably it's your first time or something like that, you want to use an agent who will help you with the process and tell you what to do and what not to do. It's very, very important. If you are, as I was saying, if you are buying registered land, you want to talk to the owner and then let the owner do a copy of his national ID card. So probably his Ghana card, his voter's ID card or something like that. Then you want to get a land surveyor to come and pick the coordinates of the land, right? So the surveyor will pick the coordinates of the land and take it to the lands commission. When he takes it to the land commission, they will verify the ownership of the land. There are two types of search you will be doing. You can do at the lands commission. You have the window search and the detail search. The window search could take a day, and then they will just write the name of the owner on a piece of paper. You can do that, but I won't advise you to do that. I want you to do the full search, right? If you do the full search, it will give you a history of the land. All those who've ever owned the land before, and the search will also indicate whether the land is under litigation. It will also indicate whether the land has been used as a collateral for a bank loan. Some people go and buy a land, and the land is being used for a bank loan, and before you realize, that will be a different issue. So the full search will give you all that, and then you compare the ownership of the land, the owner of the land, to the ID card, the name on the ID card the person gave you, to make sure it's the same person you are dealing with. And from there, it's a straightforward process. But if you are buying from the chief, that's a little tricky. From the chiefs, what you want to do is to make sure you are buying from the rightful chief first. Or if it's from the family, you want to make sure you are buying from the rightful head of the family. Not Ochiame, not Wafasi, but the head of the family. Make sure you are dealing with the head of the family. And the head of the family, his name will also be on the land, at the Lands Commission. His name will be there, so you can really verify and make sure you are dealing with the head of the family. As I said, don't deal with Wafasi, don't deal with Ochiame. Deal with the Wafa himself, right? And then make sure things are on the right track. So that's if you are dealing with the right person, then you go through the same process, right, as if you are going to buy registered land. But with the chiefs and then the family land, it's a little risky. Not to say you can't get a litigation free. People always buy from the chiefs, but open your three eyes, not the two. Open three. Make sure you are dealing with the right person. That's the most important aspect. And then also do background checks. There are some chiefs that are known for being crooks. There are some head of family that are known for being crooks. So if you do a background check, people will tell you that this guy is a crook. Don't deal with him, or this person is okay to deal with, right? You maybe deal with the right person, but that person is a known crook. If you ask around, you can easily get to know about that information. That's why it's always good to go with a land agent or an agent who can do those background checks for you, because you may not have the time to go around asking people about those things. So it's always good to use an agent. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And also you mentioned about the search. So now, once you run the search and everything is fine with the search and you're happy with, in terms of payments, how do
so when you run the search and everything is okay, I always tell people, don't pay cash. Let the person give you his bank details, the one the one who is selling the land to you, or the one who claimed to be the owner of the land, whose name is at the lands commission. Let the person give you his bank details. He shouldn't give you another person's bank detail. He give you his bank detail and make all payments to the through the bank. You don't want to pay cash. You want to pay through the bank because you want to have a trail or a proof of payment, so that in case something should go wrong tomorrow, you can have a proof of payment. If you pay cash, it becomes very difficult to prove that you've paid for the land, right? So you always want to use the banks to do your payments.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if it's through the chiefs, that should not let you pay them cash.
Yes.
A chief should have
A bank account.
They should have a bank account
Yes.
that you should pay.
Yes.
If they choose to sell land, they should have a bank account for
Yes.
their payments.
Most all the stools generally will have an account. The reason why some chiefs will want to take the money cash, because they don't want it to pass through the stool account,
Yes.
so that they can account for it.
Yeah.
But if you pass through the stool account and they can account for it, then it becomes very difficult for the person to take back that land or use some other methods to take the land back. So you always want to make sure it passes through the stool's account or the owner's account, and then you are a little bit safe
Safe, yeah.
with that aspect.
Very good point. Very good point. Because once the payment comes in, that's when things are fine. So you have to make sure you use the right channel to make the payment. That's good. Thank you. My next question to you is: can foreigners own land in Ghana?
Definitely. In fact, Ghana is looking for people to come and then be part of us, you know.
Yes.
So definitely we are welcoming of foreigners. You can definitely own land. There are laws that backs that. So you shouldn't have any problem owning the land in Ghana as a foreigner. Just that you should go through the process and then acquire the right documents. So definitely we are welcoming of foreigners. If you are a foreigner outside Ghana or in Ghana and you want to own the land, definitely you are very welcome, and the process is a very similar process as any other Ghanaian would do.
It's who owns the lands in Ghana and who are permitted to sell the lands. Is it the stool, the government? You've mentioned family, but is it just the family or the stools or the government? Who sells the lands?
So the ownership of land in Ghana has its roots in the traditions and customs of our country. So the ownership of the land would depend on the region or the tribe you are referring to. So let's say among the Ghana Dangbes or the people in Accra, the lands are generally owned by the family. So the family owns the land. Chiefs also own lands, but the chiefs own their family lands. Chiefs don't really have, within the Ghana Dangbe tribe, the chiefs don't have the rights to most of the lands. They own their own land, but most families also own their own land. I think a similar thing happens with the Ewes. But when you go to the accounts, usually the chief own the land and apportion some to the family or the people in the town. But in Ghana, the government also owns some lands. Usually the lands the government owned were acquired, or the chiefs gave the government land for specific purpose or reasons. And the government do own those lands. But generally, the family or the chief will own the land, depending on the tribe or the region you are talking about. Yes.
Okay, right. But it's generally between those two. Is that
Yes,
right?
between the family, the chiefs, and then the government.
The government, okay.
Yes. But usually you won't want to acquire a government land. So you want to acquire either
Either
from the stool or from the family, or maybe someone could have bought it from the family already and is reselling to you. Yeah.
Okay. Does the government also acquire land from the family?
Okay, so whichever land the government owns was given to them by the family or the chiefs. The government traditionally don't own any land. The land is acquired, the government acquires land from the people, right? So unlike other countries where the government own all the land and rather give rights to the people own the land and give rights to the government. Yes, that's how it works in Ghana. Yes.
Thank you. So what happens if you bought a land that has been previously purchased, which we do get in most cases?
Okay, that's a very frequently asked question because it's something that is happening.
Happens a lot.
Yes, and unfortunately, some of our chiefs are a little dubious, and then some individuals to try to play tricks on people. If that happens, you have three options.
Yeah.
The first option is to probably go and see the person you are in contention with, try to get some sort of agreement with the person and see how you can resolve it with the person. If that don't work or if it's not possible, then the next option is to go and see the chief. Make sure you hustle him and get your money back,
Back, yeah.
or get your land back, whichever way is possible. The third option is to go to court. Fortunately, right now, Ghana is trying to pass a law, the New Land Act, that will severely punish people who sell land twice or to two different people. I think that should have been in the first one in the first place, but definitely we are trying to get a New Land Act that will try and resolve that issue. So most often, some people tend to the court.
Yeah.
But I say your first option is to resolve it peacefully where possible.
Between them.
Yes, especially between you and the other person. Sometimes the person may not even be aware. So if you can get in contact with the person, try and solve it together and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And if it's not possible, try and hustle the chief. Get your money back.
If you don't, then it's court.
Yes,
Take it to court.
that's your last resort. Yeah.
Mr. Addison, what is the difference between an indentured land and a land title, a titled land? What's the difference?
With a title land, it means the Lands Commission has given you a title to own that particular land. So generally, with the title land, the owner's name will be with the government that he or she owns the said land. The indenture basically, for what it implies, is just a receipt. So if you buy a land from someone and the person should give you a receipt, what the person gives you is an indenture of the land. So he gives you like he've agreed to sell or he sold this land to you. So now you take the indenture to the Lands Commission to get a title.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually you will get a indenture from the first sale, that is from the chiefs or from the family. They will give you an indenture to show that you bought the land from them. But with the title land, what you do is that you just do change of ownership. So if the land has title, you go to the Lands Commission and they will do change of ownership for you. But if it doesn't have title and you are buying it from the chiefs, the chief will give you an indenture for you to take to the Lands Commission to do the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. That's very good, because some people just own lands and they've got the indenture and they think that's it. So this will help them understand.
Yeah. If you have the indenture, you have to proceed to go and get the title of the land. Or else, what happens is that when you have the indenture and you want to resell to somebody, the person will have to go back to the chief to sign his indenture, right? So if you have any intention of reselling, or not just reselling, but to secure your land, if you get an indenture, proceed to get the title of the land. It's very, very important.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Very good point. Thank you very much. My other question for you is, should purchasers only buy from real estate companies, or could they buy from individual private owners as well? Which one would you say is safer?
If you are buying from an individual and it's a title land,
Yeah.
it's quite safe.
Oh, right.
It's quite straightforward. If you are buying from a real estate company, it's quite a good option.
Okay.
Usually their lands are demarcated properly, usually service plots, and then it's quite easy to trace the owner of such lands, But the thing about it is that if you are buying from a real estate company, sometimes their land is on a little high side, the price is on a little high side. But if you are ready to pay the premium for your peace of mind, I think a real estate company is a better option. But if you should get a registered land from an individual, also fantastic.
Okay. You also mentioned about getting a titled land. How would I know the land I'm buying? What shows in the first instance that it's titled? The seller may tell me, oh, I've got the title.
And the seller will give you a copy of the title,
Okay.
and then you take it to the Lands Commission to do a search. So if the seller's name is at the Lands Commission, indicating he has a title to the land, the search will show.
This is why it's very important. It's key to run the search.
To run the search, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Addison, what is the leasehold on the land for a buyer? And also, is there a difference for Ghanaian and non-Ghanaian buyers? Can you tell me?
Yes, there's a difference.
Okay.
The lease period for a Ghanaian is around 99 years. For a non-Ghanaian, it's around 50 years thereabout, right? There are some lands that are freehold,
Okay.
but those freehold lands are very rare to come by,
Right.
and those lands were bought during the colonial periods.
All right.
So if you are going to come by, it may someone who has a leasehold land and is reselling.
Reselling.
But I don't think you can buy a normal land and convert it to leasehold, freehold. They are all leasehold.
Okay.
So as I said, for a Ghanaian buyer, it's around 99 years. For a non-Ghanaian, it's around 50 years. But you should also know that the time starts when the first buyer purchases from the family or the stew or the chief. So let's say the first buyer purchased it 10 years ago, then it means your lease is less 10 years, right? So you also want to look at, but I don't think people should work out about the lease period and those things. If you are buying a land that is 99 years lease, I'm not sure after 99 years someone will come to you. The seller will
come back for my
no, he won't come back for the land. He will come back for what we call rent.
Rent, yes.
That you pay for probably another 50 years or something like that, and it should be a reasonable price.
Yeah.
He can't quote something unreasonable. Yes. Yeah. And I'm not sure the person will even be alive after 99 years to come back ask for it. And his children probably may not even be alive, and they may not even remember where they sold which land to who.
Yeah.
So people shouldn't be worried about those things. They are only there to protect Ghanaians, that our next generations shouldn't come and then all the lands are sold to foreigners.
Yes.
And the foreigners have taken over Ghana. It's just to protect us, but you shouldn't be worked over.
But we
that
know
issue.
now we know there's definitely a difference.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there's definitely a difference.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great to know. Types of land conditions purchasers should avoid buying, like a land that's waterlogged, which has salt. What are those types?
Oh, okay. I won't necessarily say don't buy a land that's waterlogged or not. The type of land you should avoid buying first is government land. You don't want to get involved with the government.
Okay.
And then you also don't want to buy a land that is a reserve. Let's say a bird sanctuary or some sort of reserve,
Okay.
or let's say a land that's on the waterway.
All right.
You want to buy those type of land. But if your land is waterlogged, there are people who can engineer the land and recover it very easily.
Okay.
But with a waterlogged area, you want to get a bargain on the land,
Yeah.
because you will use some money to reclaim that land, right? And if the land has some salt or something in it, it depends on how you build. You can build on it without any problem. But you just have to make sure those lands, you get some sort of bargain on them. But the lands you won't want to mess around with is government land, reserve lands, waterways, land that are reserved for like the birds and things like that. You won't want to mess around with those ones. But apart from that, you can reclaim any sort of land depending on how you go about it. But you want to make sure you want to get a bargain.
Yes, definitely. That's
on
a good tip.
you want to get
very good tip.
Yeah,
to know.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. What areas or what regions in Ghana would you recommend to buy land to build?
Area you want to buy a land will probably depend on what you want to use the land for, and how your lifestyle, right? If you want agricultural land, you definitely don't want to buy land within the city center.
Yeah.
You want somewhere on the outskirts, or probably northern Ghana. You have huge stretch of lands where you could use for agri purposes. But if you want for residential purpose, you probably would like to look at your lifestyle.
Okay.
So if you are someone who wants the hustle and bustle, the giddy lifestyle, you probably want to come to Accra, get some place like Kumasi, Takrady, those places where things are going on. But if you want somewhere a little quiet, relax, maybe you could look at the Volta region. You could look at the eastern region, parts of the eastern regions, the mountains. If you want that cool breeze, you could look at the mountains area. And if you want the safari type of living, you could look at the northern Ghana. You have a lot of open space, outdoor activity, and things like that. So it will depend on what you want to use the land for and the lifestyle you want to live. Yeah. If you are someone who is going on retirement,
okay,
you want to be a more quiet area, So you want to look at probably the mountains, probably the coastal area, Cape Coast, you know, yeah, something like that. So it
the lovely
depends.
breeze there as well.
Lovely
and
breeze.
Nice view.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the ocean.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Listen, are you able to give us an idea of if there's a difference in pricing of land? This is within Accra or outside of Accra. Is there a difference?
Yes, the price of the land will depend on the area.
Okay.
It's definitely Accra will generally be more expensive than say Kumasi. Kumasi will generally be more expensive than say Temale. Temale will be generally, you know, it depends on the area. And within Accra, it also depends on how developed the area is. So let's say a place like Bawe or Adenta, there are a lot of houses around, it's developed properly. So the lands there will be more expensive than a place like Chopoli or Dawa.
Oh wow.
Those places, you know, there are less development there. Yes, so their lands will be less expensive. So it depends on the area. So someone who wants to buy a land but is not ready to build now could probably go to the outskirts, those cheaper lands where people haven't started building yet. You could buy the land, keep it when you are ready. Probably when you are ready, then people would have started building there, and then you can continue. But if you want to buy a land, build a house now and move into it, you probably want the place that's already developed, you know, so that when you get there, there are people around you.
I also realize that sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be Accra.
Yes.
You could get a cheaper land in Accra compared to say in Ebri.
Yes.
Because Ebri, maybe you have the lovely view, you're on
Yeah,
the mountain,
yeah,
it's very cool
yeah,
up there.
yeah.
So therefore the land there would be more expensive
Yeah,
than,
yeah.
as you said,
Yes.
maybe somewhere in Accra.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, it's because it's outside of Accra.
You know, where you just mentioned the Bri area, it's becoming really expensive because a lot of people are moving there now. You know, a lot of people are moving there. People are building really nice houses, and usually, the land will be cheap when someone important move into the area or buy a land in that area. They say the land is next to this person's house or this person's land. Then the price just shoots up like that. And, or if someone build a nice house there, then your land, the price, that's all it takes. The price, that's all it takes.
Because I remember East Legon areas are during Ghana.
Yeah.
We've had a few well-known names where people use as landmarks.
As landmarks, and then the price just goes up. There is one area in Ebri where one politician bought a land there, and overnight the price doubled.
Wow.
Because you are living near so and so person, the price will just go up like that. Yes. Just like that.
Yeah. So it could be anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Okay, so the question here is land guards.
Land guards.
Land guards. Who are land guards?
Yeah.
What should we be looking out for when buying a land? When do land guards come in?
Land guard, if you've ever bought a land or dealt in land issues in Ghana, you probably, especially with Accra, it's a very prominent in Accra. I think other regions don't have those issues, but it's usually with Accra. It's because of how things are set up in Accra. The land guards, there are two types of land guards.
Okay.
The first type of land guards are the local boys in the area. When the chiefs are selling the land, they don't benefit from the sales.
All right.
So for them to also get something, they organize themselves in group and they go around taking money from people who've already bought lands. So they have something called digging fee.
Yeah.
So before you start your construction,
Yes.
they have a fee you have to pay. And I learned there are areas where now they have offices, they have receipts.
Wow.
And if you pay, they give you receipt and everything.
Yeah.
It's an illegal business, but somehow government have closed their eyes on those things and people are doing it in the open. They shouldn't be doing it, but we've come to accept it.
Yeah.
So if you are building a house, they'll come around for digging fee and things like that. Sometimes it's just best to pay them off and
Just to have your peace of mind.
If you want, you can struggle with them. It's something that they shouldn't be doing. You can struggle with them, but you only have a headache. Yeah, so just you pay them off and then they will leave you alone. And then the other type of land guards is when there is an issue with the land. The one faction go and contract boys to come and protect his land. So if any other person goes to the land, they will just come and beat you up. Or sometimes if someone is developing the land and he's in contention with another person, he go and get the boys. If your workers are working, they go and beat up the workers, drive them out, just to make life difficult for you.
Yes.
So that if you don't have the heart to face that, you just leave the land for them. So because they know that if they should go to court, it will take a long process. They don't want to go to court. They want to use force to get the land by force. So that's another type of land guards. They are all not right. They are all illegal stuff, but it's happening unfortunately. All around it's happening, unfortunately.
That's good.
But usually, if you are involved in a litigation land, that's where you have problem with the land guards. Else you won't have problem with
If it's a
them.
litigation-free land,
Yeah, shouldn't have problem with
all these
land guards.
guard
Yeah.
issues.
Except for the boys who will be coming for the digging
Area
fee.
boys.
The area
This
boys.
one is
For them,
something small,
something small for the boys, and then they are gone.
which is understandable.
Yeah. But usually it's within Accra.
Okay.
I haven't heard of land guards in Kumasi and northern region and things like that. Maybe because in Accra the land belongs to the family, and the area boys don't get to benefit from it. But in Kumasi and things, the chiefs are in control of the lands better than in Accra. So they tend to manage it in a better way. I don't know.
Okay. So please, for viewers, land guards are mostly based in Accra.
Mostly.
So if you're
Mostly.
out of Accra,
You have
haven't got to worry about land guards, but it's definitely in Accra.
Yeah.
So be prepared. Well, Mr. Addison, it looks like we've covered quite a broad area. You've answered a lot of questions. I've made some interesting points, very good points for myself, and I'm sure the viewers will take a lot away with them. So now that you've got everything, you've done your land, everything is, you've looked out for all these. What next?
So when you get you get your land, and everything is set, and you are ready to build, you first want to go and take your building permit.
Okay.
And you want to use a professional builder.
Okay.
Get a professional builder, someone like Eno Bricks, who will do a professional work for you. A lot of people is a very serious issue. A lot of people, when it gets to the construction, after spending so much money and stress on acquiring the land, then they go and take someone by the roadside just to save some small coins. But if you get a professional, someone like Eno Bricks, to do a fantastic job for you, you come out with a product that you really like and that you really want to show off to your friends. So don't go and take someone by the roadside. Get a professional, talk to Eno Bricks. She will help you out, and I'm sure you'll be very happy.
Mr. Addison says it's fantastic. Then you know it's Mr. Addison talking, so the fantastic has come in. Thank you, Mr. Addison.
You're
But
welcome.
with the building permit, someone may think that, oh, I've got all the necessary documents, and now everything is ready. I just go on my land to build. But you've said about that's a very good point you've made, that they need to get a building permit.
Yeah.
Where do you go for the building permit? Do you go to the person who sold you the land? Where do you go for your building
No,
permit?
when you want to get a building permit, you first have to get the drawings for your house.
Okay.
So you get the drawings for
For your house.
when you get the drawings, you take the drawing to your district assembly or your local assembly to give you the building permit. And it's a very simple process. I don't know why people don't want to go and get a building permit. Usually it's because they don't have the drawings for the house. They don't have the plans. People build house without plan.
Plans.
So if you have the plan, you just go to your district assembly. They can give you the permit. Sometimes probably if you are in a hurry to do the construction, you can get a partial permit that you can start with the construction. Whilst you are on the construction, they will work on the rest and give you the full permit. What you don't want to do is to put up a house and later the district come and say, or the local authorities come and say, you are not supposed to build here. Then you would have spent all that money and they will have to pull the house down. So you have to spend a little extra time and money to get the permit.
Really
It's very, very
necessary.
important. Very, very, very important.
I think this is where you see that when they start a build, they've had to stop because
They will-
it's got the stop
The stop
with
work
the
and things like that. And sometimes they will come and seize your tools for the construction, and they will give you headache.
Okay.
So to avoid everything, it's a very simple process, a very straightforward process. You go to the local authorities, you apply for the permit. If you want to start the construction immediately, they can give you a partial permit or a temporary permit for you to start the construction whilst they are working on your permanent permit. It's a very simple
Simple,
process that
yeah.
you shouldn't
That's true.
overlook.
And they also always
So
recommend that you obtain a building permit.
that's very
or
true.
a paper to show that you have started the process.
That's true.
And then we can start.
That's true.
working with you.
That's true.
Fantastic. Mr. Addison, thank you very much for
Yeah,
your time.
welcome.
Mr. Addison is on YouTube as well as the Property Hunter Ghana. Mr. Addison will help you with all your land, property, sale, rentals. Go to Mr. Addison. He will get you fantastic properties and fantastic land, fantastic locations.
Yeah.
So I'll put in the description box below Mr. Addison's the link to Mr. Addison's YouTube page. Also check us out on www.enobreaks.com for all the updates and all about us. We're also on Instagram as Enobreaks, and we're here on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.